American from my birth to the grave. 47's the top. Took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run. Still they answer the call. And we say, be tight. Be tight. Be tight. Officer Tatum Show. Be tight. Be tight. Be tight. Officer Tatum Show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go on the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. Over the weekend, I thought I would be able to take a break. I thought I'd be able to chill with my family. I just thought, but I was wrong. However, because I care about the people that work for me, I didn't make anybody come in to work, but I really wanted to talk about what went on in Texas. Very sad. If you follow me on social media, you know I wrote an opinion piece on it on my Substack. My Substack is absolutely free. I don't charge people to get into Substack. Get in there if you want to see my deeper thoughts on certain subjects that I don't necessarily always cover on my YouTube channel. We'll put the link somewhere if you're interested. But I wanted to touch on a few things. I didn't originally talk about this incident not because I didn't think it was important. It's because it was too emotional. Like, I just didn't want to face the reality that there were children who had gotten swept away in such a brutal and terrible fashion. I mean, as a father, many of you guys that got kids, imagine sending your kids out to a summer camp, there's a flood that occurred, and they get washed away, never to be seen again. I mean, many of these kids are still missing. So what I want to do now is just give a quick update, tell you I want to give an update. Then I want to tell you what my theories are when it comes to how I think this thing happened. Not necessarily meaning that it's a direct correlation, but it's something that made me curious over the weekend. And then also I want to show the radical leftist nut jobs who are hell bent on blaming everything in America's woes on Donald Trump, and how they're wrong. And I want to disprove every naysayer, because you guys are going to see this 100,000 times between now and by the time they find these kids, is that people are saying it's Trump's fault. And they're saying it's Trump's fault because he made budget cuts to some of the federal agencies that do meteorology or whatever the case may be, and that they were understaffed. It's complete lie. And I'm going to disprove that coming up. But let's start with some of the facts in case you are just joining in. The update as of July the 7th is about 78 to 82 people confirmed deceased. There's still over 41 people still unaccounted for. So 41 people are still missing. I hate to say this, but more than likely, the majority of the people who are still missing are probably no longer with us. They just haven't been able to find their bodies in the water. The place that was hit the hardest was Kerr County with 75 plus people who had passed away. Travis County had 6. Burnett County had 4. Kendall and Williamson had 2. And Tom Green had 1. The rainfall was up to 20 inches in some areas, which is absolutely catastrophic. And therefore, it really hit this area of the Camp Mystic Girls Summer Camp. Now, we'll get to that in a minute. I want to put some clips up on the channel for you guys to take a look at, but we'll get to this particular girls' camp. But this is some of the footage that we were able to see, and this occurred over the weekend, but I'm reporting on it right now because it's Monday. Roll the clip. This is literally a house with people in it floating down the creek. The stream, whatever you want to call it. Let's go to the next clip.
Okay, so apparently
hold on. This is a gentleman that's kind of talking about it, giving a summary as of July the 4th. But I think his commentary is good, and this is just another glimpse of what occurred on that day. Roll the clip.
There's been a ton of reports coming out of Texas right now because of the Guadalupe River that decided to surge dramatically after historic levels of rainfall in south central Texas on July 4th, 2025, with some areas receiving 5 to 11 inches overnight. As a result of this, the Guadalupe River rose over 20 feet in just an hour in Kerrsville and 26.7 feet in 45 minutes in Comfort, Texas. The National Weather Service described this as a deadly flood wave, issuing multiple flash flood emergencies. The river...
Okay. Let's go to clip 4. Roll it.
I have some heartbreaking news that I'm going to share. I've spoken to this man standing on this foundation over here. He is actually the brother of the person who owned this home. What he's informed me of is that his brother's house is actually missing. His 2 children are missing. He has no idea where his brother is, and he doesn't have any idea where his brother's wife is. So his brother's home, including his brother's wife and his 2 children, are now missing on the situation. He's in shock. That's what he was able to share with me. But I do have confirmation that a home was here. Now it's not here, and this man is sort of left to see what actually progresses of the situation with a missing family member. And
all right, so this just gives you a glimpse of a little bit of the tragedy. Now, I don't want to continue to post a ton of clips. I don't want to belabor the point, but you see how tragic this was. The whole house is gone with everybody in it. That's got to be the craziest feeling whatsoever. And as a parent, I think it's heart-wrenching. Now, let's get to some things that I thought about in my op-ed I wrote. And I want to dispel a myth first, and then I want to talk a little bit about cloud seeding real quick. Do I think that cloud seeding caused this? No, I don't know if it did. But I think people should understand that this is going on. This is happening. It's real. You know, when the chemtrails and stuff that you see in the sky and people are like, oh, that's just a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. The states are actually doing this. Let's talk about this blue rain thing for a minute. There was a person, an article that came out, and this is a real thing that actually happened. There was people that were reporting seeing blue rain. So on their canopies and different covers on their hot tubs, there was pooled up water from a rainstorm that occurred just days before this major flood, and it was blue. And so I'm gonna read it. It says, just days before the flood, reports began circulating on social media. A few local news outlets claiming that blue rain had fallen on parts of Texas in viral TikTok video. And here's one of the videos. I'll play it. Roll it.
Is it just me, or these Texas floods do not sit right with me? Now, Texas officials say they were caught up.
A little bit for the blue rain. I just want to show the blue rain part. All right, play it.
In this beautiful state park in Texas, and it's been raining, and the water that's coming out of the sky is blue. And
now, wouldn't it be wild?
All right, pause it. So he gives a little synopsis on this whole thing that I'm going to talk about right now, so I don't want to waste your time listening to him. And I wrote in part in this op-ed, it says the meteorologist pointed out that blue rain is not indicative of cloud seeding or chemical manipulation. Instead, it's most likely the natural source of airborne particles like pollution, dust, or smoke from wildfires being washed out in the atmosphere. No credible water samples or lab tests have been traced linking the phenomenon to weather modification activity. So that's the official statement. But they're not denying that the water coming out of the sky was blue. Ain't that crazy? But there is no unequivocal evidence that this is caused by cloud seeding, but it's still suspicious. This was just a few days before. And then let's talk about cloud seeding real quick. The question is, could cloud seeding have had something to do with this? I think people need to look into it, because I think they don't want you to look at it at all. They want to act like it didn't happen, that it's conspiracy theory. But I think we should at least evaluate. Okay? Cloud seeding, injecting agents like silver iodide into clouds to encourage precipitation, has been used in Texas for water management and agriculture since 1940. Did you know that? Did you know that they've been cloud seeding since 1940? I used to be honest, I thought it was a myth. I thought it was all a lie. I thought it was condensation in the air. There was no cloud seeding going on since 1940. It says today, Texas oversees 6 weather modification projects across roughly 30 million acres. These programs, funded by local water districts and counties, report increased precipitation by 10% annually. Those scientific opinion remain mixed. They are doing cloud seeding in Texas. And a lot of people are wondering, because when you see the water jump by 20 plus feet in less than an hour, that's a catastrophic occurrence that is rare. Now, this is reported to be a 1 in a 500-year flood with a 0.2% chance of the flood warnings being so far off from what actually happened. The truth remains, what could this possibly have been? Is it just the weather, what they call a perfect storm, for lack of better terms? The weather was ripe, the water was ripe, the storm cells coming into the area during that time, all of that combined just caused the once in a 500-year thing? Or is the government doing stuff that they don't disclose properly to the public? So when it falls out, when things go south, they act like you're conspiracy theorists. But maybe y'all messed up. We saw this happen in Dubai. I don't know if you guys remember, years ago, Dubai had mass flooding. And it's because they do cloud seeding in Dubai, because it's in the middle of the desert and they want to create rain, and so it can be inhabitable and they can have crops and different things like that. But at some points they overdo it and Mother Nature overtakes it. And then they begin to see catastrophic flooding because the area is not conducive for that much rainfall. All right, let's talk about the Trump hating, because I think this part is the most egregious out of anything other than the people losing their lives when it comes to reporting or conjecture or whatever you want to call it. The fact that people are coming out and blaming Trump is insanity. I'm going to play the suspects who are blaming Trump, and then I'm going to disprove what they're saying methodically. Let's start with this idiot. Roll the clip.
And what a horror story in Texas. The flash floods in Texas, the Guadalupe River, 51 missing, 51 dead, more missing. Children at a camp. And you know, when the president guts all of the early warning systems and the weathering forecast abilities of the government, these are the results that we're going to start to see on a daily basis, because he's put this country in so much danger by his horrible, horrible decisions and this ridiculously immoral bill that he just signed into law. As Republicans cheered, people will die as a result, and they've started already. Shame on him. Shame on every GOP sycophant who's listening and following the disastrous decisions of this mentally incapacitated POTUS.
Now, this same B, meaning beautiful woman. Let me quit lying. It don't mean beautiful woman. You know what it means. This raggedy B never made a video one time during Biden's administration when he was completely incompetent and he was really deranged, and I don't think he's with us anymore. She made no videos. And this dumb B, it means butthead, or whatever you want it to mean. Just be safe when you're thinking about it. This dummy is acting as if Donald Trump signing the big beautiful bill has somehow caused the rain to fall down and for the Guadalupe River to overflow, increase by 20 feet in less than an hour. Somehow he had something to do with that. You cannot make this up. Let me play some more idiots, and then I'm going to prove why she's a complete idiot too. Roll the clip. And look at this fool. Roll the clip.
Well, since y'all got my live taken down, I guess I'll just chit-chat in a video. I mean, I don't understand all this, extraordinary hate or whatever. Like, I get that white people are not used to people telling them and calling them out on their racism and telling them about their double standards and how you wouldn't give a damn about other children and how there's children.
Well, let me contextualize this. Do we have her original video or no?
This is her original video.
This is not her original video. But I'm gonna give you some context here. She got canceled. Not unless it's at the end of this. She got canceled because she came out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was another girl, but she came out and said that it's racism that people care more about white children, and that these white kids, it could be another girl, I could be wrong, but that these white kids deserve what they got. And that nobody cares about these white kids and why they raising money and the government using all these resources to save these kids because they white and all this other stuff. I think it was her because she's saying how much backlash she got. When whoever made that video, I remember watching a little bit of it, it's so ridiculous, it's crazy. But I'm gonna let her finish, because imagine if a black person said what she said. Let's start the clip over from the beginning. I just want you, while you're listening, imagine a white person saying this about black people, just for the sake of argument. Roll the clip.
Well, since y'all got my live taken down, I guess I'll just chit-chat in a video. I mean, I don't understand all this, extraordinary hate or whatever. Like, I get that white people are not used to people telling them and calling them out on their racism.
No,
and
black
them
people
about
aren't.
their double standards and how you wouldn't give a damn about other children and how there's children in ICE detention right now who y'all don't give two fucks about. There's no prayers going up for them. But we're supposed to stop the world and stop everything we're doing to go and hunt for these little missing white girls. Again, I actually have empathy, so I can put myself in other people's shoes and understand that that's pretty up. But it seems like y'all don't get that. Y'all don't get that. Y'all don't have the empathy gene. I'm going to say...
Hold on. That was too much for me. This girl said there's children in ICE detention facilities, drawing an equivalence to kids who are drowning and floating away in houses, who are in the most terrifying times of their lives, run down a creek, killed, left for dead, mangled by all of this stuff. And then first responders who have to go out and pick these dead bodies up, swollen from being filled with water in their lungs and rotting on the side of the road. That's equivalent to kids going into the detention center because their parents are illegally in this country in an air-conditioned facility with food and resources for them to be able to be processed out of this country. That's the same as children floating down a river with cortisol levels and adrenaline in their just seeping through their skin because the fear and terror that they must have felt before they died. And you telling me that that's an equivalence. Lord, hey, really? Like, what happened to them? I know what happened to us. You made up. What happened to them? Did something happen when you were cooking in the kitchen? Okay. Wrote his next mindless person.
Y'all scary as and I don't give a Them little girls, them people died because of racism, not politics. Boom, I said it. I don't give a fuck.
Can you believe this?
And I said no. Nope. Because more YT people will have to DIE in order for the what? CARE. I said what the fuck I said. I don't give a fuck.
Can you
Minds are
believe
here
this?
with me. We voted the correct way. You reap what the fuck you sow. Just the night before the flash flood happened, y'all were okay with being stripped away from their families and never seeing them again. People being deported. Y'all were okay with that. Be okay with not finding Sarah Lou. Be okay with not finding Billy. Be okay with never seeing them again. Keep that same energy because I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Because I've been reading the comments and the shit y'all be saying. Y'all didn't give a fuck when it was brown people. We sorry that it's white people now, but that's going to happen.
How do human beings exist like this? I don't get it. The amount of racism and hatred and evilness that you will never see a white person do on TV or anywhere. They may do it at their house. You will never see a white person get on a platform and say, I don't care about them black kids. That's what they get. When a lot of times, black people be doing stuff to themselves. This was a natural disaster. We're not talking about the Chicago incident that I'm finna pull up where they doing a drive-by shooting on their own people. But to say that, it like bothered me. It kind of hurt me a little bit to hear this woman talk this poorly about innocent children that have nothing to do with the stupidity that she's talking about. And I bet you $1 million it ain't just white people. Finish her clip. I think I can handle a little bit more. Roll it. 20 seconds.
This is going to be a repetitive cycle going to happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until y'all get tired. Racism cost y'all more than y'all thought. Racism wrote a... What's that line?
I'm done listening to her.
Wrote a check.
The girl looked like she got 3 baby daddies by 6 different... She got 3 kids by 6 different men. That's how silly she looked. Why is it all black people? There ain't no white people here talking stupid. It's got to be. Please put a white person in there. Let's play this. Please don't be another N saying something crazy about this flood. Y'all already did it with Carmelo Anthony. Y'all already didn't put yourself in a position going on and raising $500,000 for Carmelo Anthony, bragging about him killing a white kid for no reason. Y'all already got kicked off the Carnival Cruise. What's next for black people like this? You are the scum of the earth. And I'm not saying all black. I'm talking about these ones. The ends that nobody want to deal with the smoke alarm popping every 5 minutes. You ends. That's a disgrace to our ancestors, both black and white ancestors. You are a disgrace before God to be this silly. And I put my life on it. If white people start turning on y'all, you be nagging and complaining about, the white people, they didn't, the white man think that. You talk so poorly of white people, and then when they buy up the community, you crying about gentrification. Then when they leave the community, you crying about white flight. And then y'all voted for Kamala Harris, who have no policy position. You cannot make this up. Lord, help me today. Roll the clip.
To be the one who points it out, but it seems like it needs to get pointed out. So are we not paying attention to majority of the videos that's being shared about this flood and the certain that's on the videos? Hopefully this is opening up some eyes and showing people that he watches I don't matter who's watching. They're watching. They see you as a person and what you're teaching your kids and how your children treat others and how you treat others.
It's insufferable. I can't watch anymore. It's hard to watch somebody that's saying that little kids at a getaway, a summer camp, somehow deserve, projecting that somehow these innocent kids are racist. Somehow projecting that their parents are teaching them to be racist against people. Think about how stupid that is. If you're claiming that all these kids are white, they're not even around other people. So what's the point of even talking about being racist against who? Themselves? They're not around nowhere near black people. So if it's all white, they're not nowhere around black people. Nobody's talking about racism because black people are not even in their sphere of influence, according to you dummies. To project that onto random people in a tragedy like this is insufferable. But let's go to the claims that you guys are going to hear. They keep saying Donald Trump did budget cuts. Donald Trump did budget cuts, and that's what caused this and this caused this. Let me just read it out to you because I wrote it in another op-ed that I haven't published yet, but I wrote it down here. We got another one. We got a white person. Bring the whitey up here because they dummies come in all forms and fashion. I just think the percentage of dumb is black women more than anybody. But look at this one. Play them on the screen. Roll it.
It's a hard pill to swallow, huh? The fact that if you would have just voted for Kamala, that those kids in Texas and all those families in the RVs would more than likely still be alive. But instead you just made fun of her laugh while people were screaming at you that if he was voted in, people were gonna die. And look where we are. A bunch of parents who can't protect their own kids.
Ooh, I hope these people burn in hell. I hope they burn. Burn, baby, burn. Lord, if I can get one view window, I just want a view window. I just want to look over there and be like, see that video you made? That's what you get. That's what you get for saying, I don't care my words. I don't care if it's a bunch of Democrats. I would never fix my mouth to say, that's what they get. It's because of this. That's what they can't even defend themselves. You're making fun of a light of a tragic situation because you have Trump derangement syndrome. All right, let's get to this. And this is what I wrote. Yes, during the Trump administration, there were staffing and budget reductions to NOAA and the National Weather Service. That's a fact. And any budget decision by any president should be open for review and criticism. However, flood watches watches and warnings were issued hours before the event. So I don't care what you think about the budget cuts, anything, hours before the event. The NWS offices functioned as expected and followed protocol. Meteorologists, including critics of Trump, have admitted that no one could have forecast exactly the rainfall, intensity, or timing of a 1 in a 500-year flood. There's no evidence that any staff cuts caused delayed alerts, a missed warning, or contributed to the death toll. Not one iota or ounce of evidence. And until someone presents clear proof, the idea of assigning blame to Trump isn't journalism, it's performative. It's a lie. It's evil. It's devilish. Let's talk about the real science behind what could have caused this. Obviously, you guys know this was an extraordinary and rare meteorological event, what scientists call a 1 in a 500-year flood. That means the level of rainfall and the river surge has just a 0.2% chance of happening in any given year. Even the most well-funded, perfectly staffed forecast centers would struggle to provide down-to-the-minute predictions under such conditions and such fast-changing conditions at that. And so blaming the administration is absolutely mind-blowing and ridiculous. And the meteorologists that have been speaking out have said unequivocally that they were fully staffed and they had everything they need, and they were unable to predict this. So to say that the budget cuts, and it was a big cut. I mean, I gotta pull up on my computer. I'll tell you guys what the cuts were. And this is why I don't like when people make these decisions to talk about these things, because they don't even know in its totality what the cuts were associated with. Like when they cut aviation, it was like, not aviation, they cut, I forget the name of it. The FAA. They cut the FAA. All of the people they cut were probationary people, which means they hadn't been on for over a year. So all these people were probational, inconsequential, and many of them, they didn't have any value in the company. It was a bunch of new people that they hired that were absolutely unnecessary, had no dealings in the functionality of the way the FAA works. So it had zero effect. Let me go up to where the numbers were at when it comes to this flood. When it comes to the budget cuts from Donald Trump. I thought I put it in here. Let me see how y'all hold the phone. I can find it. I'm literally about to throw this computer off this desk. I'm trying to find where I looked up the amount of cuts that they had. Let me see. Y'all hold on a second. I thought I had it right here, but I don't have the actual numbers. Okay, here you go. It says between early 2025 and June of 2025, the NOAA lost roughly 850 to 880 employees, with around 1,000 more taking buyouts or resigning, and nearly 600 positions left unfilled. With that being said, they still had the capacity and the staffing, and this was only 2% of how much percent of the workforce this was? It was just a small percentage of the workforce, because when you think about how many people are in that industry, it's thousands of people. So that little cut was almost inconsequential to a certain degree. Now, look this up. I can't find out. I wish I'd have had it prepared. Okay, this is roughly, okay, so it says, it was right here, right in my face. 850 staffers and had around 600 unfilled positions, roughly 7 to 8% of its workforce. So with all of the cuts, it was only about 7% of the workforce anyway. It's not like they cut half of the staff and 40%, 70%, 80%. It's about 7% of the staff that they made cuts to. Many of them did buyouts. What does that mean? That means that you're able to retire. So you just bought out your time and left the agency. And many of them were cut, probably probationary people that didn't have any real action in the first place. But still remains, the meteorologists that have been speaking out in the media says that although there were cuts, they were fully staffed, they gave proper warnings, they gave timely warnings. This was just an incident that no one could have predicted or could have planned for. When you have a river rising 20 plus feet in less than an hour, it's unpredictable. Now I want to give a little bit of background because I wanted to give you guys some context on this girls' camp, because I think it's pretty notable. Some people make it notable because of conspiracy theories, but I think it's just notable to understand the totality of kind of what this girls' summer camp was. So it's the Camp Mystics overview. The Camp Mystic is more than just a camp. It's Texas's cultural institution, blending faith, tradition, and elite heritage across generations of influential families. It was founded in 1926 by the University of Texas coach, Doc Stewart. Ownership history is in 1939 to 1974 was owned by the Stacy family. In 1974 to 2025, it operated by the Eastland family, notably Dick and Tweety Eastland. It's a Christian girls summer camp focusing on spiritual growth, life skills, and character development. Celebrities and political ties. Laura Bush was the former counselor there. Lady Bird Johnson attended ceremonies. Daughters of former families include Senator John Connally, President Lyndon B. Johnson, his family, elite Texas families are also amongst the children that went there. Now, the conspiracy theory around it is that somebody targeted these people's kids and they made sure that they had this happen right around this camp where a bunch of prominent people's kids go to this elite camp. Tradition and activity, outdoor sports. They have music, they have art, journalism. They have chapel rituals, signature programs like the Mystic Murmurs and the river-based recreation. Multiple generations have attended. Deep emotional bond, lifelong friendships, and enduring loyalty was a big part of this girls' camp. And really, our thoughts and prayers go to the family that have lost their family, their babies in this tragedy, and also the camp members. The camp counselors were also teenagers, so they weren't 80-year-old people. I mean, these are kids too, and so it's a very sad situation. And I think it's shameful when we see so many people blaming Donald Trump. Some saying it's climate change, some saying it's Donald Trump's cuts. None of them are blaming the fact that this was a tragedy that should have never happened, and we could not control it. All right. I think we got all the stuff I wanted to cover with the flood. Trump did have a response. Let's play clip 10, Trump's response.
It's shocking. They don't know the answer yet as to how many people, but it looks like some young people have died. Any federal aid for them? Oh yeah, sure. We'll take care of it. We're working with the governor. We're working with the governor. It's a terrible thing.
And Donald Trump looked like he'd been up all night. Well, immediately Donald Trump sprung into action, gave the governor everything he needed. We had helicopters and everything, and there was over 100 and something odd people rescued. I didn't even mention that in my notes. I had it in my notes, but I didn't mention it. But there was a significant amount of people rescued by helicopter. Let's see if I have that specific number here. Over 165 people were evacuated by helicopter and Coast Guard. So I could do a whole series on the heroes that really stood out that over the weekend. A bunch of people. There was this one Marine guy that's like been, he's been making the rounds, and people have been celebrating him because he saved like, I don't know how many people. He probably saved like 50 people or something like that I read. Let's go to the Instagram post, clip 9. They may give a little bit of context to it. If it's the clip I'm thinking it is. Roll it.
Trying to explain to a world that's watching this and asking questions what a flash flood looks like, where you have a 26 to 30 foot rise in the water in a matter of an hour, 4 to 6 a.m. on a holiday, and the people that are having to respond to that. I just got everybody like pause, take a breath for the recriminations and the Monday morning quarterbacking. Because there's so many great people in this community that are responding and moving quickly. Lives lost, saving people, like camp directors. And I'm going to let other people name names and stuff. That's not my job here. But we know the stories of people that have been heroic in trying to make sure that the lives lost was at a minimum and trying to recover individuals. I got a call and an update this morning. My kid's school, there was one of their schoolmates was missing, and was one of the kids. She was on a mattress for 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night, and she's united with her mom, and that's wonderful. And those are the kind of blessings that we should be celebrating, while we're also mourning the loss of life as we identify those that didn't make it and are now home with their Lord.
I just got a text before I came on air, and we're going to hear these stories more and more from parents who text me. They were bringing their little girl who was spared home, and they asked her what happened. And I'm not using any names, but she said they were awakened, and the water was at the door. The camp counselor took a rock and smashed out the window. They climbed out the window in bare feet and nothing but a nightgown on, in neck-high water. They walked through the water. They got to another position where there was some dry land. Then they moved to another position. She said, I don't know how we made it. She had her name on the back of her clothes she was wearing, but she wasn't even in her own clothes at the time. And so these little girls and these camp counselors, you're going to hear heroic story after heroic story. These camp counselors are teenagers themselves for the most part. And they eventually got to higher ground where a helicopter came and rescued them. We have a story of a 27-year-old young man in one of the houses along the riverbank. He saved his mother, and I believe it was his aunt or grandmother, but he was swept away. There was heroism yesterday everywhere. And these camp counselors, again, 750 girls in this camp, and we have 27 missing, and we're not going to give up looking for them. We're not going to give up looking for them. And we're all in, and we're praying for these families.
So that's a little bit of it. There's a gentleman, I think we'll find out this information tomorrow. I wasn't prepared to talk about it today. I just saw a clip pop up, but he saves a lot of people. And I think he made a video. But let's get to another topic here. Hakeem Jeffries was on The View, and one of the most disingenuous Democrats in Congress is Hakeem Jeffries. I don't understand the likes of him. Like, the guy will say anything to try to prove a point to match the Democrats' side. The same with Cory Booker and other black men like him. I don't know why they do it. And I'm not saying the black ones are the only one. The white ones are the worst. But these two gentlemen will defy reality when it comes to what's really going on to push an agenda. And I just don't understand it. Why can't people just keep it real, bro? Why can't you criticize Biden when it's time to criticize and criticize Trump when it's time to criticize him? Why is it that they got to be so disingenuous? Roll the clip.
At the same time that this bill, by the way, I think instead of calling it the big, ugly bill, you shouldn't call it bull. Big, ugly law now. But at the same time that it cuts SNAP benefit and it cuts health care for the neediest amongst us, it sets aside...
Hold on. Stop. God dang it. I can't listen to these people say stupid stuff. They're not cutting SNAP, just randomly cutting. They're getting people off the system that shouldn't be on the system. If you're able to get off the couch and work, you don't need to be on SNAP. What are you on SNAP for when you can go get a job? There's work requirements. We don't just hand people handout because there's people that really need it and they can't get it because people gaming the system. They're not cutting SNAP just saying, we're just going to cut SNAP because we want to make poor people worse. It's like, no, half of y'all, a bunch of y'all shouldn't even be on the system anyway. What they're doing is scraping the fat off the system to make it more effective for people who need it. They know it, but they on here lying. Roll the clip.
$170 billion for ICE mass deportation efforts, a bigger budget than the FBI and federal prison system combined. And last week we saw...
Why is that? Why is that? You dumb... I want to say it, but Lord, you know I'm trying to be right. But adding budget to deporting people that cost us hundreds of billions of dollars a year, who puts a strain on our systems like SNAP and like Medicaid, it's worth the investment to cut the fat. Resources should be reallocated to make sure these people aren't draining our system. But these dummies want them to drain our system so they can keep complaining. What are you talking about, bruh? If you can get off your butt and go work on a job, why are you on Medicaid? Roll the clip.
The administration opened a new migrant detention center in my home state of Florida. They're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. And we've also seen military-style ICE raids throughout cities in this country. People are being imprisoned and deported and disappeared and taken away by masked men without any due process. And the worst part is,
time out.
You know...
I can't stand these people, man. Listen, if I'm accused of committing a crime, just say I'm accused of murdering people or something crazy. You think they're going to come in and get me is a part of due process. They're going to come and get me and take me to the jail. Then I'll be able to see a judge. And the judge is going to do whatever they're. And if I'm right, I get to prove myself right. If I'm wrong, I go to prison for life or whatever the case may be. Why are you saying there's no due process when they have a criminal warrant against them for deportation? Many of them for committing crimes and also which necessitate a deportation order. The penalty of being illegally in America is deportation. without committing any crimes. Just the fact that you overstayed your visa or the fact that you're here undocumented, even if you came through a port of entry, if you don't have the proper paperwork, you didn't show up to your court hearing, deportation is your next step. What are we talking about? That's in the law. And if you committed a crime and you're illegally in our country, a crime and deportation is on the docket. These people are such liars and deceivers that they think that ICE is just out here getting up Mima and Peep on them. No, dummy. They got to get a warrant. There's 20 million illegal aliens in here. Where they going to start? No, they're going to where people who have a deportation order and they're rounding them up. And while they in Sukasa, then they may see somebody else that don't have paperwork. And you going too. Why did they complain about this during Barack Obama's administration or Joe Biden's administration? We know why. Roll the clip.
My community in particular, Latinos, are being racially profiled and targeted. Communities and families are being torn apart. But for me, the saddest part is that people feel helpless and hopeless, that there is nothing they can do. They feel there's nothing you can do as a minority in the House. What's your message to these people that feel such lack of hope and such
Something
fear?
stupid.
Well, we are seeing sort of an unprecedented flood of extremism being unleashed on the American people, and it's happened from the very beginning. January 20th, months and months and months, of chaos, of cruelty, of corruption. But I think we can never lose hope in the resilience of the American people to face turbulence, and this is an incredibly turbulent moment, but to power our way through it and to come out stronger on the other side. That's not to say it's going to be easy. It will be challenging, but I still believe in the fundamental goodness of the American people. A recognition, one of the reasons why this bill is so deeply unpopular, and it is because they recognize that this is not what America should be all about. In terms of the deportation situation, one, we have to, of course, secure the border. We have a broken immigration system. We need to fix it. We should fix it in a bipartisan and comprehensive way. But we should also never abandon the fact that, yes, we are a nation anchored in the rule of law. We are also a nation of immigrants. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. It's one of the great strengths.
Hold on, Negrodamus. Legal immigrants. Where are we missing this point? These people are arguing about illegal immigrants. This is like if this was legal immigrants and people were complaining about legal immigrants, I'd be on your side, Jeffries. But y'all simping for illegal aliens. Many of them are crooks and criminals and murderers. And many of the ones that they're deporting. And y'all don't even mention that one time in anything you have ever said. They will never mention at least. We need to at least get the people out here that are doing crime. If they in here doing crime, we need to focus on them. They won't even say that. They are acting as if we're talking about the same people, your family members, your cousin, your friend who went through the process and came here legally and got citizenship and what do they call it? Assimilated. They comparing that person to the one that just came over here yesterday, or the one who broke through our border, the one who had a court hearing that they never showed up and never had any intent to show up for, the one that's over here committing crimes, getting DUIs, murdering people, selling drugs, using money to send back to Mexico, paying the cartel. They're conflating these two, and it's shameful. Roll the clip.
Of the United States of America, we should not abandon it. And so as House Democrats, our view is that while we work on making sure the border can remain secure, while we work to fix our broken immigration system, we also are going to stand up for dreamers, for farm workers, and for law-abiding immigrant families at all times. At all times.
Time out. There is a visa for workers. There is legal visas for people to come here and farm and work in agriculture. What are we talking about? For the people that's out there, kudos to you that got your work visa. You're here doing your job. You're in our country legally. Let's give you a pat on the back. Good for you. We support you. Welcome to America. add value to this country based on the law. We're not talking about them. We love those people. They have value in this country. The people that sneak over here are the problem. And you're over here for 30 years and don't get nothing done. You've been here 30 years and you still ain't got your immigration status. Why I'm sad for you? There's no such thing as breaking up families. You can go back to Mexico with your family. You the one breaking up your family. Roll the clip.
This kind of bill, which is going to have such a dramatic impact on people all across the country. I mean, literally millions of everyday Americans are going to be hurt, and it's all being done to reward billionaires. Unacceptable, right? Unconscionable, un-American. That it needed to be debated in the light of day, not passed in the middle of the night, which was the original intention. This debate started at 3:28 a.m. And so, you know, this is such an unprecedented assault on health care, on the economy, on nutritional assistance, on higher education, on everything.
Yeah.
That we just wanted to be able to do everything that we could to fully air the challenges with the bill, but also see if we can persuade just a handful of Republicans to do the right thing by the American people.
Well, you persuaded two, and one person, as I understand it, was absent from the vote, which could have changed it. But you're calling this the one big ugly bill. And not only is it projected by the Congressional Budget Office to add $3.4 trillion to our national debt, it extends tax cuts for the rich, as you mentioned. It also includes, though, big cuts to health care programs such as Medicaid, cuts to SNAP benefits for the poor. My understanding is in New York, about 1 million people will be affected by this. Can you talk about the implications for health care and how it affects people who don't even use these programs?
Well, first of all, like in America, healthcare shouldn't simply be a privilege. It should be a right to every single American.
Hold on. The affordability, I think, should be a right. Healthcare is already a right for everybody. Name a person that can't get healthcare services when they need it. If you're poor, you got it for free. I saw a lady on Instagram the other day. She was like, she got a disabled kid. She's like, it has like a tube in his throat. And she's like, I have Medicaid. We have $8 million of medical bills per month. It's like, I started to say, if you were an illegal alien, you wouldn't have to worry about none of this. It's all free. You don't have to worry about nothing. They cover everything for free. And you don't have to ever pay it back. You don't have no social security number. Who they're going to attach this bill to, on what credit score, on what creditor is going to come after you if you're a legal alien in this country. Don't you find that to be an issue? Roll it.
And presidents throughout the years, whether that's, you know, Roosevelt or Truman, you know, President Johnson, President Clinton, President Obama, President Biden, have all worked to expand access to health care. Yeah. But what's so extraordinary about this bill is that more than 17 million people will lose health care as a result of the, you know, cuts to Medicaid, the attack on Medicare, the attack on the Affordable Care Act, the Children's Health Insurance Program, and Planned Parenthood.
And by the way, MAGA kept saying that it was illegal aliens that were going to be kicked out. Explain to folks that there's not 17 million illegal aliens that are receiving free Medicaid.
Actually, federal law, to your point, Anna, explicitly prohibits federal dollars from being used to provide health care to undocumented immigrants. Yeah. And so that was always a lie. But we're dealing with some folks
hold on. So how does illegal aliens get any medical care in America? No. Let's explain this. When they come over here and they have a baby, how do they? Who pays for that? How do they get care for? You know, going to the hospital and birthing children isn't free. So when they go to the hospital as an illegal alien in this country, when they go in for COVID, back when COVID was a thing, and people used to go in the hospice and they had to go to the hospital emergency room, when they go in there, who pay for it? How does the bill get paid? What are we saying? What are we saying, Jeffries? What are y'all saying? What are y'all trying to convince the American people of? Y'all acting like they have no tangible burden to the system. Who pays for their medical bills? Who pays for the hip replacement surgery? Who pays for XYZ? They get the stuff and it gets paid for. What are y'all talking about? They qualify for government assistance. What are y'all talking about? Roll it.
Facts don't matter. Hypocrisy is not a constraint to their behavior. And people actually have concluded that shamelessness is a superpower. And so our view is we just have to aggressively push back with righteous intensity, continue to press on, as I indicated, as John Lewis would always inspire us to do, speak up, show up, stand up, so we can get the type of America that this country deserves.
But don't you then also, I think that's right, but shouldn't you and other Democrats be screaming from the mountaintops and tether the Republicans to this bill,
for
there's
political
gonna
purposes.
Be true human loss here, right? People are going to really feel it.
Yeah, real pain and suffering. I mean, the attack on healthcare is not just going to result on millions of people losing access, but hospitals will close, nursing homes will shut down, community-based health clinics won't be able to provide assistance.
Rural hospitals?
Rural hospitals in particular are at great risk. And in fact, people who have private insurance, once you attack the healthcare ecosystem, premiums, copays, and deductibles for tens of millions of others are going to go up. And so it's a big problem. It's an immoral thing that just took place on the floor of the House of Representatives. Yeah. An immoral thing.
It's only immoral because the Republicans did it. We will see what the effect is on people in Medicaid and Medicare and all this other stuff. But they are getting people off of the programs that shouldn't be on it. God forbid if we tell you to get off your ashy elbows and go get a job. God forbid. If you are able-bodied, and even they said that one of the work requirements is that you have to work 40 hours, I think, a month. Like, you don't even have to be doing, you just have to be given you have to just try. And you can still get Medicaid. But you can't just be doing nothing. And I don't understand. We got 320 million people live in America, and you're talking about kicking out 12 million people. Bro, we got 320. What are all the 320 million other people doing? It's because what we have created, ladies and gentlemen, is a welfare state. They want us to become a socialist communist nation in part because they want you to just rely on the government. You don't need to get a job. We will give you money to stay stupid and dumb and needing government handouts. No, you don't need to close your legs on the weekend when you ain't ready to have no kids. No, have as much unprotected sex as you can because Planned Parenthood will just let you kill your baby. No, don't have accountability. Don't be the best version of yourself. Don't be an entrepreneur. Don't go out and grind and work. Don't do what everybody else in America is doing. You don't need to work. They need to work. You could just get paid to sit on the couch. You can get paid to keep having more and more kids by all these baby daddies and nobody taking care of their kids like they're supposed to. You can make decisions that are stupid and everybody got to pay for your decisions. Let's talk about this real quick. Before I get to the Carnival Cruise, you got people out here crying, being, and complaining about the wealthy getting the tax breaks. Well, let me tell you something for you idiots out there. There's a large majority of people that do not pay taxes, period. They're not even contributing and they're getting money back on their taxes. They're getting free health care. So let's give the middle finger to them a little bit. And let's move on to the wealthy. Who do you think pay all the taxes? Who you think pay the taxes? Who you think pay the taxes, people? These people that are making millions and millions and millions of dollars are paying most of the taxes in the country anyway. So if giving them a tax break is not detrimental to the existence of the country. I'm just put this in perspective. Floyd Mayweather, one person, I think he said paid like $100 million in taxes every year. $100 million in taxes is something he paid. Now, some of y'all paying $4,000 in the taxes every year. He paid $100 million in taxes. I have a friend that I know that pay $4 or $5 million in taxes every year. Your whole community don't pay $4 million in taxes. Everybody in your community that live in your whole area don't pay $4 million in taxes. Like, so, and I'm not poo-pooing on people who are poor, but when I looked at the chart, everybody making about 80 to 90 plus will see a net positive in tax returns. That's the majority of the people who are paying all the taxes. If you're making $40,000 and $50,000 a year, you're making 20-some thousand a year, you're not even paying taxes. You're making $50,000 a year, you barely paying anything in taxes. You making $1 million a year, you paying for 30-40% of your money. I don't want to, like, so the wealthy getting tax breaks to the wealthy. Well, the wealthy is the one keeping your cities running, to be honest. And when I say wealthy, I'm talking about people making $100,000 or more. It ain't the people making $20,000. It ain't the people making $40,000, $50,000. It's the people that make a little bit more money is contributing a lot more. If you want to make it fair, then everybody pay the same rate. Oh, you don't want that. You want progressive tax. You don't want 10% tax. You know, I couldn't be a person dealing with taxes. If a person created a multi-billion-dollar business, you get tax benefits. You get tax breaks. You like the first 5 years you don't have to pay taxes or something. Like I would advocate rewarding people who create opportunities for people to work. You know, 40,000 plus jobs come from Tesla. 40,000 people work for them. These big corporations where people are making billions of dollars employ hundreds of thousands of people. You wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for Amazon, DoorDash, Uber, Microsoft, Apple. These big corporations where these CEOs are making billions of dollars, they are employing hundreds of thousands of people, and they're contributing trillions of dollars to the economy. They're paying ungodly amounts of corporate tax, and the CEO is paying ungodly amounts of his own taxes personally. And they are the ones that are creating opportunities and jobs and income that's creating taxpayers. I'm going to move on, I swear, but I just had to get this out my chest. When we cut the videos later, you'll get a more condensed version. I had to get this out my chest. Like, the amount of payroll tax. This chip company, it's not an American company. It's in America, though. But just think about it. This chip company is supposed to bring like 30,000 jobs to Phoenix, Arizona. I think it's something like 30,000 people are going to work for this place. And it's like, I don't know, 40 miles of building. It's like a $300 billion deal that they did over there. Do you know how much property tax is going to be paid to the state of Arizona, or whatever agreement that they had? They may have deferred the tax for like the first few years. You know how much property tax they're going to have to pay on a multi-billion-dollar building that's like 100,000 square feet or some crazy number they got? Do you know how much payroll tax you have to pay 30,000 people who are making at least $50,000 or more? Do you know how much state and federal tax those 30,000 people are paying into the system? I can't do it. Those people are going to have to buy, shop. They're going to have to buy cars. They're going to have to fill up the gas tank. They got to go to the grocery stores. They're going to pay rent. Like, one company is building entire cities. Okay, let's go to Carnival Cruise. Speaking of ratchetettes, black people, let me holler at you real quick. I love y'all. Black people, in my opinion, are some of the most gifted and special people in the world. I think God has given black people a special ability, talent, charisma, you name it. We have it all right here. But for some reason, the devil and the white liberal and the sellout Martin Luther King types have just really thrown our talent off a cliff. Black people should be the majority, or a close majority in America. Black people should have the second most amount of wealth accumulation in America. Black people should be some of the most famous, populated groups of people all over the world. Black people in America should use their wealth and resources to contribute to the wealth and success in Africa, but we too stupid to do any of it as a collective. Blaming the white man, but we have every opportunity in the world to do good, but we don't do nothing but do evil. And I'm not saying every black person. I'm talking about these Negroes, the ones that you finna watch on this thing that they done got banned from the Carnival Cruise. Carnival Cruise, I swear before, I don't want to say swear to God. Let me just promise you, I don't even have to look it up. I bet you Carnival Cruise, because it has been historically successful in making billions of dollars, has historically been white people going on a good, wholesome cruise with their family. And then the Negroes, that untrained, unhoused, crazy, I name my kids after nightmares type people, are getting on these cruises and getifying it to now they can't make money doing this. So they got to ban black people from, look at what they're doing. Roll the clip.
Carnival Cruise Line does not like black people, and they don't want black people taking their cruises, okay? It started off with the speakers telling people that they can't bring speakers no more. Why would you not want people to be able to bring speakers and listen to their own music? Anyway, now Carnival has banned rap music on their cruises. Now, I've been seeing little posts here and there the last couple of days that Carnival is not playing rap music in the clubs no more. But this morning, I actually saw a video of somebody in the club. There was nobody on the dance floor, and they were literally playing soca music. And the caption was like how they asked the DJ if the DJ could play some rap music in the club, and the DJ let them know that they're not allowed to play rap music anymore. So they put on soca. Now, y'all tell me, a place that does not allow rap music and rap music only, no other type of music is not allowed to be played but rap music. Y'all, please tell me, what is the demographic of people that they're trying to keep away?
No, hold on. What demographic is trying to get kicked out? It ain't that they keeping y'all away. They'll love to take your money. But y'all be doing ratchetness, listening to music, talking about sucking and doing all this other stuff in front of people, kids. That's why drill music, talking about gun them down, in this, in that, mother, in this, girl, sucking, doing this, and y'all playing all that. And the white people are sitting over there with their kids like, little Tony. They don't want to hear about sucking and doing all that stuff, but y'all blasting that crazy music. People are trying to vacation. They're not trying to hear a hip hop. They didn't come to a Drake concert. They didn't come to see a little Kendrick Lamar. They came to vacation and have a wholesome time on the ocean. But y'all got to be ratchet. And then you in there fighting, drinking, twerking, fighting, thugging. Then they got to get a dress code because y'all in there acting a fool. Roll the clip. Come on, roll it. Carnival is racist. No, they're not. Y'all silly. Roll it.
Tensions are running high over Carnival Cruise Line as some say they've turned racist.
Carnival Cruise Line does not like black people, and they don't want black people taking their cruises, okay?
The reason? New rules the cruise line recently introduced. They include a marijuana ban, minors curfew, alcohol control, and even an alleged rap ban, though this one hasn't been officially announced.
They do not have to worry about me. We got the message loud and clear. We are not your demographic anymore. You bet the F around and find out real soon.
More outrage came after a ban on hand fans inside their clubs.
They said no fans. They're basically getting rid of boots on the ground. I don't know why that song bothers people so much.
However, many disagree this is discrimination against black passengers.
Carnival Cruise said, not on my watch. We are not doing this no more.
Like, y'all act like y'all have no home training. Everywhere don't have to.
See, y'all see the difference? Y'all see the difference between the ends and the black folks? Like the black folks that get it, they get it. The ends will never get it. Roll the clip.
Be a party. Some people pay for this just to simply relax.
Do you think Carnival Cruises are racist, or are they just trying to bring some order?
No, they're losing money. If the ratchetness was profitable, which rap music is ratchet and is profitable, so they keep selling it because they don't have to deal with the fallout of people killing each other in their community, which I'm going to talk about here in a minute. If it's profitable, they don't care. Why would they want to stop y'all from coming on the thing if you profiting them? Y'all can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. The white man just about capitalism. The white man be using us. The white man just be making money off of us. The white man and okay, if the white man and making money off y'all, they let y'all keep coming to court. But y'all turn their business up. They trying to have a wholesome cruise. Now people don't want to go to Carnival Cruise, and black folks that are reasonable don't want to go on Carnival Cruise. You going there with your wife, they out there ratting and fighting in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Like, what are y'all doing, bruh? All that ghetto stuff turns away other clientele. And y'all not the biggest clientele, to be honest. Probably not the highest paying. Probably ain't tipping. All the same stereotypes that black people get in trouble for. Y'all probably on there doing it. Freaking leaking in the hallways. Come on, bro. Roll the clip.
Carnival came out and said, so you think the fan ban wasn't enough? Watch this. Let's run through the list in order.
Hold my beer.
The teen curfew is a big one. Everyone under 18 has to be back in their rooms after 1 a.m. unless you're with your guardian or an adult that's 21 plus. However, if you're 18 to 20, you can no longer travel alone anyway. You must be with someone 25 plus. So anyone under 21 now must have a 25 plus person with him as well. Now this pool chair rule needs a whole nother look. Let's bring up the screen. If during the day you feel like you want to reserve a chair, you can, but they're going to put a sticker on it that says they stopped by, they haven't seen anyone here, and they're going to put a time on it. And if you don't get to it or check in, they're going to pull your stuff off those chairs. No more reserving sun loungers all day long on Carnival. There's two parts to this one. Let's talk about it. The first one, they're saying no more hip hop on a lot of cruises. Maybe they're trialing it, maybe they're testing it, it's just rumor, but no more hip hop. And the last part's the wobble dance. They're saying no more wobble dance because it's causing too many problems. Carnival came at you.
Now let's go back a little bit. I want to try to see that. I wish I had that little rule bar on there without his face in it. I think this is about good enough. Just get his face out of it. Okay, so every time you see a law or a rule, it's because somebody's stupid enough to do something that caused somebody to have to make a rule about it. The fact that they need curfew of guests under 18 is insane to me. If you are under 18, why are you out past 1 a.m.? Why? I bet you $1 million they got young people roaming around doing stuff late at night. They got people drinking underage. They got a whole bunch of stuff they doing. And you can't tell me they're not sneaking alcohol and doing all this other stuff. It is what it is. People do it off the boat. They do it on the boat. All right? And then you go down to the fans. It says Carnival has banned the fans inside the nightclubs and indoor facility for safety. Battery power fans are allowed, which is behind his head. So what they act like it's because black people got fans. It's because people probably been fighting and hitting people with them fans. That's why they don't have it. The pool chairs, people fighting over pool chairs. And I can't see the boarding thing. I got a new picture coming up right now. Okay, we're going to get the picture because I kind of want to see what they're doing. But if people would take accountability and say, okay, we need to stop being ratchet. They won't. It's racism. And it's not racism. It's that people don't want that ratchet stuff on their boats. Let's see. We're getting ready to put it up. I kind of want to just see what it says. I should read the policy, actually, because that may be even better. Okay. All right. We got the curfew, age policy. Solo cruisers must be 21. Okay. And then the fans, the pool seats, behavior. Disruptive guests can be removed with no refund and fined up to $500. Check in online by midnight before sailing. Print your boarding pass, luggage tickets, bring all required travel documents. I bet people wait till the last minute, try to get on that thing, and they're like, no, it's too much controversy. I should have looked it up a little more. I'm pretty sure there's more to this, okay? All right, here's something that we wrote up a little bit about it, is that some of the behaviors that have triggered disciplinary actions are physical fighting and verbal threats, excessive drinking and drug usage. They banned marijuana because I guess people were smoking weed on the thing. Bringing banned items, no battery fans, and large speakers. Define staff instructions, lewd, aggressive, and disruptive public behavior, refusing to follow dress code or safety rules. Carnival cracked down on unruly behavior. New policy banned large Bluetooth speakers, rowdy public dancing, and disruptive behavior on deck and common areas. These changes are about preserving order, not targeting anyone's race. Not everything goes. Carnival is not banning music genres, but it's holding DJs and guests to higher standards of conduct. Passengers who treat cruises like a frat party or club venues are now being held accountable. Conservatives have long said freedom doesn't mean license to disrupt others, okay? Here's another thing that I think is important for people to know. Carnival profits are surging because normal people approve. It says quarter two, 2025 profit $565 million. 2024 revenue was over $25 million. So think of how much of an increase they're getting their profit margin, because they're saying people have been terrified to get on these cruises because it's too ratchet, too ghetto. We don't even fly. I'll never fly. I'll never ride Carnival. My wife told me a long time I ain't never rode on a cruise, but she's like, oh, we ain't flying Carnival. Carnival like the Spirit Airlines of cruises. And they're on track right now to record-breaking growth by focusing on customer satisfaction and not political correctness. Most travelers are voting with their wallets. They want peace, professionalism, and predictability. And what does it say about the culture? Carnival is proving that the boundaries are good for business. This is a sign that America is waking up and not being politically correct. They're looking at their bottom line. What should this say to the black community and others who are being weird? Wake up. Nobody want to live around that stuff. Nobody want that ghetto stuff. That ghetto stuff only makes sense in the hood. When you go into the real world, being ghetto, loud, all this other stuff don't function in a communal situation. If you want to do it at the crib, if y'all want to do it at the nightclub in the hood, you want to do it at the barbecue, that's fine. But when you gotta act like civilized people when you get around other human beings, okay? All right, that's enough. I want to talk about Pam Bundy real quick. Pam Bundy. This is my own personal opinion. Trump, don't get mad at me. I'm just, just like you, Trump, you get to say what you want to say, and you don't care what people think. I'm going to say what I want to say. I think Pam Bundy should resign. Replace Pam Bundy. She's in over her head. Too many mistakes in my opinion. I don't want you there. Y'all playing games. Y'all acting like y'all on social media influencers and stuff. Ma'am, what are you doing? Y'all remember a long time ago they had all them people bring them binders out with nothing in it. Information that had already been released, and then they re-released it redacted. Pam Bundy and them getting on TV, pumping their chest. We're going to expose Epstein's, and we're going to do this when I get in office. No, you need to be doing the people's business. You look like a clown right now. You look like you're unqualified. You look like y'all done pick somebody up that was stripping and then put them in the office and expect them to do a job. And I'm not saying she's a stripper, but what I'm saying is that you look like you grabbed somebody that wasn't qualified and put them somewhere, and they're in over their head. Pam Bundy, to me, does not sound as professional as she should. And now look at what they brought out. Look at what they brought out. Now they say Epstein don't have a list. Ma'am, now, is this consequential to the everyday American's life? No. But I get sick of people just doing stuff to be viral. I don't like that stuff, man. Handle your business, man. You're a professional. You're working for the president. I don't want this shenanigans. And this is not, they do it in Congress too. Nancy Mace and them just trying to be viral. Do your job, man. That's why people don't like some of y'all. All right, let's go to the tweet. Let's go to clip one. And this is from Colin Rugg, which he has an incredible X account. I follow this stuff all the time. It says, Justice Department released 10-hour video of the night Jeffrey Epstein died, saying it proves that he took his own life, saying that there is no evidence he kept a client list. The FBI independently review of the footage confirmed that from the time Epstein was locked in a cell in around 10:40 p.m. on August the 9th to 29th, or August the 9th, 2019, until around 6:30 a.m. the next morning, nobody entered any of the tiers in the SHU, the FBI and DOJ said in a memo. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client lists. There was also no credible evidence found that the Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. And I think Colin said, what a complete disaster. Now, we got more. I want people to apologize. No. You need to look at your audience. You need to look at your following and the people you've been telling and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Want somebody wrong. If the FBI is saying this and it's true, then the people that were pushing that conspiracy is wrong. And you got to tell your audience, if you were the one saying, I got evidence, I know for a fact, we got a list, I seen the list, I seen somebody that said they seen the list, you saying that, you need to apologize to everybody on your platform. But let's play Pam Bundy before, because, right, we got an old clip of Pam Bundy, right? Yep. Let's see what she said in the old clip, and this is why I think people need to resign over stuff like this. This is what she said, wrote a clip.
Attorney General Pam Bondi is here now. I can't even remember if I've congratulated you on your confirmation. Have I? If I haven't, congratulations.
Thank you. Only through text.
Okay,
so this
only
is the first
through
time
text.
in person. Thank you.
So, big cabinet meeting today. What happened that we don't know about when the cameras weren't rolling?
You know, once the hour-long press conference, they throw every question in the world at Donald Trump, and look how he answers. He's amazing, and he just keeps going and going and going, and he knows more than all of the media put together. And so then once they finally left, we got down to business, and we went around the room, and the president just basically asked a lot of us what was going on within our departments. And what you showed from Marco earlier is so true. We all have known each other, the majority of us, for so long, and we're friends, and that's what makes a difference. Jesse, we pick up the phone. We're on the phone with each other constantly, all of us, on every issue you've talked about already in your monologue.
This is 5 minutes long. We're going to get to the point. In this video, I think she just promised that she was going to provide the Epstein video, right? I think that's what she had said. Obviously, inducing that is something worthy of watching. Let's go to clip 3, because this is where she said she had the list on the desk. Are we going to get right to the point on this? Roll the clip.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything?
Keep playing this.
You said, oh my gosh.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we'll check.
So these, to her defense, I guess she didn't specifically say she see a list, but he asked her about the list. She said it's on my desk to review. In my opinion, that's giving people the false indication that there is a list. She didn't say there is no list or we don't have any evidence that there's a list. What documents are on your desk waiting to review? Do you have a docket this big or what? I don't get it. I think that these people got to stop. You can play that clip 4. I think these people got to stop being salacious. This is not social media. This is not a Trump rally. This is not a MAGA fest. You got to be about your business. And I'm just saying this. Do I think that Jeffrey Epstein did himself in? I didn't believe so. I think it's suspicious that 2 guards fall asleep or something. You know what I mean? Like, how did that happen? The most prolific pedophile ever to live, potentially, and he's being prosecuted at a maximum facility. He was on suicide watch, therefore he had a roommate. They somehow removed his roommate, and then all of a sudden he's now dead. Like, could that be possible? Yes. I mean, when you face a life in prison after being a multimillionaire, and living a lavish lifestyle, I can see that happening. But I will say this. Why were people saying that Epstein didn't kill himself and that there's evidence of all this stuff and they didn't have no evidence? This should be a wake-up call to all conservatives that you got to be patient and take your time. We either believe them or don't believe them. And this is where the rubber hits the road. I am making the decision to believe that there's no list. I'm making a decision, and I'm not saying I'm solid on that. I'm just saying right now, as it stands, because the people that I initially trusted said that there's no list. I don't know why Dan Bongino would switch on us, which I don't think he would. I don't know why Kesh Patel would switch on us. I don't think he would. You either say, in my opinion, you say, I believe what they're saying, and we were all wrong. And the people that told us that it was something there was really wrong, either intentionally or unintentionally. But what you can't do is say, these guys lying to us, but then don't also say that they're a part of the deep state and that they should be trusted. You have to come out your mouth and say, Dan Bongino is a fraud, and Kesh Patel is a fraud, and Pam Bundy is a fraud. Or you have to say, in part, that we were wrong, and now that we have access to this information, now it has been revealed that we were wrong about him killing himself, we were wrong about the video footage, and we were wrong about the Epstein list. Like, you can't do all of them. You got to say either we were wrong and they are right, or we're right and they're frauds. And they're completely compromised, and we should never trust anything they ever say. I think you got to make a decision here. I'm making the decision to believe that we were wrong. And that now they got in there, they see that it was just salacious talking points that people were creating for, to make people feel better. But anyway, the DOJ released a 10-hour video released from the night Epstein died in jail, which is the breaking news release. DOJ says no one entered Epstein's tier. DOJ claimed that there is no client list and no evidence of blackmail, no reason to investigate other people, no charges for uncharged third parties. Many of this a cover-up and doubt the timing and credibility of the release. Now, let me tell you what people may be thinking. I haven't read the comment section, but I'm finna tell you what people may be thinking. I think people are making a correlation. Can I say it like I feel it? Can I say it like I feel it? Y'all gonna judge me or y'all not? I think people may be drawing a correlation of this. Don't you think it's interesting that the blackmail and Epstein list thing has never been contested to this point? Many say that Epstein was working for Mossad, which is the Israeli CIA. And don't you find it interesting that we ended up doing the strikes with Israel in Iran, and all of a sudden, all of this idea that this guy was a Mossad agent is completely gone forever. There's no list. When nobody has ever contested, even Pam Bundy, and nobody has ever contested that there was a list. Never. All of a sudden, we work with Israel, and now there's no list, and everything is gone. Everything is wiped clean. I'm not saying that that's the truth, but I'm saying that this is what people are going to say, and it can be suspicious. Or people have just been salacious on social media this whole time, and there was no there there. I'm just surprised that even when Democrats were in office, they didn't dispel any of these myths of Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't remember them saying anything about this. I don't remember the Democrats saying that it was no list. I don't remember the Democrats touching on any of these things. But anyway, that's a little sauce for you guys. Let's see what time. What time is it?
2 o'clock.
Okay. I think we can do one more. I don't want to waste my time on that nightclub shooting. I think it's kind of old. But just so you guys know, there was a mass shooting in Chicago on July the 2nd. Huh? Nick said shocker. He said these ends are always doing the same thing every time. That's what his heart said. I could read his heart. And 4 people were killed, 14 injured on July the 2nd. Oh, this ain't nothing. I think July the 4th, there was way more people that got shot. July the 4th, 44 people shot, 6 people killed citywide. Okay. That's all I need to know. I don't know if that's news. Every 4th of July, people getting killed like this. All right, let's go with, I just want to touch with Mom Donnie real quick, because I think this is a microcosm of what is to come if people don't get off the couch and start voting and paying attention. Mom Donnie, I don't really think he's qualified to be the mayor of New York City. I don't think he's going to win the election, but I do think he's a foretelling of what is to come for the Democrat Party. They are full leftist lunatic, all in. You know how they tell you never go fully R-word? They going fully R-word. Okay? I just want to play a couple clips. This won't take much of your time. I want to play a couple clips of this guy. And you cannot tell me that this is not one of the most dangerous political people that have ever run for office in our country's history thus far. Roll clip 1.
Asked about the term globalize the intifada, if it makes
globalize intifada. Play it.
You uncomfortable. In that moment, you did not condemn the phrase. Now, just so folks understand, it's a phrase that many people hear as a call to violence against Jews. There's been a lot of attention on this issue. So I want to give you an opportunity to respond here and now. Do you condemn that phrase, globalize the intifada?
That's not language. Language that I use, the language that I use and the language that I will continue to use to lead this city is that which speaks clearly to my intent, which is an intent grounded in a belief in universal human rights. And ultimately, that's what is the foundation of so much of my politics, the belief that freedom and justice and safety are things that, to have meaning, have to be applied to all people, and that includes Israelis and Palestinians alike.
But do you actually condemn it? I think that's the question and the outstanding issue that a number of people, both of the Jewish faith and beyond, have. Do you condemn that phase, globalize the intifada, which a lot of people hear as a call to violence against Jews?
I've heard from many Jewish New Yorkers who have shared their concerns with me, especially in light of the horrific attacks that we saw in Washington, D.C. and in Boulder, Colorado, about this moment of anti-Semitism in our country and in our city. And I've heard those fears and I've had those conversations, and ultimately they are part and parcel of why in my campaign I've put forward a commitment to increase funding for anti-hate crime programming by 800%.
But very quickly, for the people who care about the language and who feel really concerned by that phrase, why not just condemn it?
My concern is to start to walk down the line of language and making clear what language I believe is permissible or impermissible takes me into a place similar to that of the president, who is looking to do those very kinds of things, putting people in jail for writing an op-ed, putting them in jail for protesting. Ultimately, it's not language that I use. It's language I understand there are concerns about. And what I will do is showcase my vision for the city through my words and my actions.
Okay. Let's talk about an intifada. Because these nut jobs don't want to admit to what an intifada is. So when you look at an intifada, and I just put it on ChatGPT because I love ChatGPT. It says intifada, then yes, it says modern political context, particularly in the Middle East. It has been used to describe Palestinian uprisings against Israeli control, especially in the West Bank and Gaza, okay? Intifada, which means shaking off or uprising. It has no inherent, and this is what it says, but pay attention to it. It says it has no inherent religious or anti-Jewish meaning in the Arabic language. However, in modern history, it's strongly associated with the first intifada in 1987, when I was born, to 1993, a grassroots Palestinian rebellion involving protesting, civil disobedience, and violence. Okay? The second intifada was 2000 to 2005, more violence involving suicide bombing, Israeli military operations, and armed conflict. That's what the intifada was. Doesn't mean taking over the Jews. This is what ChatGPT said. Not directly. The term refers to resistance and rebellion against Israeli control and occupation, not taking over the Jews as a people of the religion. However, in political and military propaganda, some groups have framed it in a religious and nationalistic term that targets Jews and Israelis more broadly, which is why the term can be controversial or emotionally charged depending on the context and its intent. Now, why would a person say a global intifada? He's a Muslim, and then he said he would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if Benjamin Netanyahu came to New York. So why would somebody not believe in the context of what he's saying, in context of what he has been doing, the context of what he stands for? And I'm going to show you again, because they said Mamdani belongs to the 12ers. We'll talk about the 12ers here in a second. But all of that, when there's a global intifada, and you just heard him speak, and he did not condemn the global intifada. If there was something that said global white nationalists or something, Brandon, do you stand? No, I don't. It's idiots. Like, what are you talking about? White nationalists? Like, what does that even mean? If somebody came out with a theology that black people need to go back to Africa because white people are the superior beings and they shouldn't be the only ones that live in America because America was founded by white people, I'd say go to hell. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Really, the biggest detriment to America is white liberals, and the second one is black liberals. But if you go on beyond that, it's like, no, dummy. Everybody helped build America. The natives had a part in it. White people had a part in it. Black people had a significant part in it as well. And so did immigrants that came into this country. America wasn't built on white people. It was built, the starting of it was started, initiated by white people, but it took a whole bunch of other people to build America to what it is today. So anyway, let's go to real quick, the whistleblower saying Mamdani belongs to the 12ers. And then we're going to describe what the 12ers are, and then you will understand why the global intifada and him not condemning it is a big deal, because he's dangerous. Roll the clip.
This guy has been here since, I think, 1999, but only got citizenship in 2018 when he figured that he wanted to run for something. This guy belongs to a group of Muslims called the Twelvers, who believe that to this day, there is a 1,200-year-old living prophet on earth who is in hiding and is going to come out at some point soon and proselytize Islam the world over. And I've yet to hear any reporters on the campaign trail in New York put these questions to him and say, hey, are you from this? Do you really believe in this stuff? Because he's affirmed his belief in that sect of Islam, Isna Ashari Shia Islam. But the voters of New York haven't actually got to grips with who this guy is, when he came here, what's he doing, what does he believe in?
Now, the 12ers, he talked about it a little bit. He rapped about it. Mamdani rapped about it in his song, giving homage to the 12ers, he says. And so this is why people believe that is the case and why people believe that he's involved in that. But at the end of the day, I hope people aren't dumb enough to vote for the guy. Nothing in life is free. Everything comes with a cost. Either you pay for it or somebody else is paying for it. Nothing is free. The rich is not the enemy. The rich people are the reason you got a job. I don't get it. Oh, tax the rich. Well, how you got it? Oh, you work for Coke? Oh, you work for Coca-Cola. Oh, okay. The rich people created that. Then you got job and employment. Unless you work for the government, you are the product of somebody who took a chance to start a business, unless you own your own business. And majority of people that's watching me don't own their own business. And the majority of the people on the left that's crying, they definitely don't own a business. You work for Starbucks and you're crying about capitalism. You got an iPhone in your hand and you're crying about capitalism. You have the freedom to criticize the president even when you're wrong. It's two left shoes on a three-legged man, but you're complaining about American freedom. You guys are stupid than stupid, okay? Let's bring up the super chats, and then we're going to get up out of here. All right, and I just want to say thank you all for the super chats, and make sure you go and follow me on my Substack. If you're a Substack viewer, if you don't do Substack, don't worry about it. But if you're a Substack person, I want you to go and follow me on Substack. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 600. I actually got 300 overnight. I'm at 600. I'm gonna finish this other op-ed I was writing, proving these liberal nut jobs wrong. But go follow me on my Substack, okay? And let's see. All right, Lee Priest. Shout out to my brother Lee Priest. It says your sleep formula is best I've used. Highly recommend to everyone wanting great sleep. Wake up fresh. Thank you so much, Lee. I appreciate it. If y'all don't know, Lee is a legend in bodybuilding. All right, let's go on to Lone Wolf 36. Satan has been busy lately. I agree. Let's see, Corey, thank you so much for being a member of the Tatum Squad for 11 months. God bless you. I appreciate it. And he says hello to everyone. Lone Wolf said, also Democrats, it's in the law already that illegals can't vote in federal elections, and therefore it never happens. Yeah, right. Well, I get what you're saying. He's being sarcastic. Let's see, Tangy Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. What is that? Sade Perkins? Who is it? Sadie Perkins. Sadie Perkins, first woman, tweeted, God wanted to wash those little blooms away, and her husband and is a pastor. These people going straight to hell. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. You celebrate the death of little kids that's just at a camp is insanity. Camp Mystic was a Christian camp. Let's see. Just wanted to say your intro song is straight. God bless you, brother. God bless the USA, US of A, and Israel. Amen and amen. Let's see. Better have conservative rules than liberal rules. Liberal parties are as crazy as their political rallies. 100%. Is there a way you can set up a fundraiser to help the survivors of Texas? I'm sure many of us here are more than willing to help. I got to find an organization or some connection, right? I don't want to raise a bunch of money and I got a bunch of money sitting in the bank and we don't know where to give it to. So let me that's a great idea. Let me connect with somebody that I know that's doing work or somewhere where we can donate. And if you want to be a part of it, I'll, direct you guys somewhere that I've vetted that's going to do right by the people of Texas. If I did not have travel every single day of this month, I would myself go down to Texas and try to do something, right? I drive my truck and my trailer and put some food in it and go do all that. But man, I'm literally traveling every day. I'm going tomorrow actually to Texas. And then I'm going to, we're going to Tampa. Then Tampa, going to Orlando. Then from Orlando, we're going to Hawaii as a family vacation, which I'm still going to be making videos on my family vacation because that's just what I do. All right. Let's see. My brother, what's that? Is it Gaza?
Probably not.
Am I saying that wrong?
Gal?
What does that say, Nick? You smarter than me.
Gaza? My brother Gal? I never saw that word in my life.
Doesn't believe in homosexuality, but Israel is all for it. Who's who? Believe in homosexuality, but Israel is all for it.
I think that's why.
Yeah, but anyway, so Queen, I think what she's saying is that maybe her brothers in Gaza don't believe in it, but Israel's all for it. And so who's the bad person? Israel is like America. America believes in freedom and you do whatever you want to do. Israel believes in freedom and you do whatever you want to do. But I don't think Orthodox Jews are supportive of homosexuality, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Just like Christians in America are not supportive of homosexuality, the real Christians. I'm not talking about the fake ones. That's in name only. I'm talking about real Christians. So I don't necessarily know if Israel as a state taking an impartial stance on homosexuality is an indictment of the Jewish people that live there that are religious. Because there's a difference between religious Jews and secular Jews. There's a difference between secular Americans and religious Americans. So I hope that is what you were going at, Queen. Appreciate it. Much love from Ohio. Much love to you back. Dustin says Tatum is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas. I don't know what he's saying. He went to ASU, so he can't write good. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Get you some synergy. If you need good sleep, if you want good energy like I have, because I was getting tired. I didn't take my night drink or nothing last night. So I got me some little energy. I got me some synergy to give me some energy. All right. Get you some synergy. T-Force for all of those who want to get in shape, who want to feel better. You want to, get your T levels up, working out. Get some T-Force. Also, get you one of them alligator Alcatraz shirts. They're going to be sold out here soon. They down there hunching. We sold thousands of them, or we sell over 1,000 of them just this weekend. And we're going to have to cut that thing off in a minute. All right. So if you want it, go get it. Gator 20, get 20% off. I think that's it. Enjoy my Substack. I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. I've been able to do content in a different way where I can now write my thoughts out and things that I don't cover on here. And eventually I'll make it more prolific where we can start talking about things that are not necessarily just politics, just things that are in my mind. It's almost my download of things that I'm thinking about all the time. I got religious stuff. I got all kind of stuff that I plan on doing. I may even do like a weekly devotional like a weekly Bible study guide where it can guide you through some Bible study readings. We do it once a week. Maybe I'll release them on Wednesday. It's like stuff like that is where I see this going. That gives me the opportunity to do it outside of doing videos. So my Substack is The Officer Tatum. If you own Substack, or you can hit the link in the description section. All right. Love you guys. I'm out.
Officer Tatum, Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.